Hey folks, this is Adam, aka Anti-Cineguy, and we're here on the Movie Vault. Right, this movie review, what I'm going to review now, is a slasher film which came out in the year of 1987. Now, there's been some great slasher films that have come out in the year of 1987. 87, 88, 89, you know, my favourite times of horror, particularly in slasher movies. You know, there's been some countless classics. I like the 90s horror movies as well, but I'd have to say there's something about the 80s where slasher films were really special, you know. And I've got a friend here on my channel who's a loyal subscriber. He likes my movie reviews, although I wish I could have more time to do more movie reviews because I love reviewing movies. But I really wish I could have time to do it. But, you know, I've got this one particular subscriber who I'm in constant contact with. And he suggested me to review this one particular slasher film in 1987 by the name of Stage Fright. Okay, now I've seen Stage Fright before. The first time I saw it, I only saw parts of it, and I never saw it all the way through, which is the wrong thing to do when you're watching a film. I know, you know. Everyone knows the best way to watch a film is sitting down, ignore the phone, don't get up to take a piss, shit. Make sure you got your drinks and your popcorn prepared, whatever, you know, you never get up or pause a movie, unless it's an extreme emergency, of course, you know, but I'm one of them types of people as well, like, so I like to sit back and watch a movie, and I don't dare buy any interruptions, including the knock on the door, ring of the phone, etc. I think that's the way it should be. And I like to do that with most of my reviews because I really don't like missing any parts of the film, whether it's 10 seconds or even a minute. That's why I don't fucking understand why I go to the cinema and people get up halfway through to take a fucking piss. I think to myself, if you don't like the movie, fucking go home. You know, what's the point in, like, going up to take a piss and missing, like, 5-10 minutes of the fucking film? You know, why'd they do it? You know, never fucking understood it. But anyway, this movie, Stage Fright, I saw parts of it. About 5 years ago, you know, and for what I understand, it's free on YouTube as well, you know. But one movie he requested me to do was Stage Fright, along with many others. You know, the Toy Story franchise was also mentioned, and My Bloody Valentine, and several other movies. But Stage Fright, when I saw that title, it rang a bell, and I thought to myself, that's one movie I'd like to go back and revisit. So I just watched it moments ago. My general opinion of it, it's a fun little slasher movie. It's about on for 90 minutes, and it was a very easy watch, you know. And for a 1987 movie, a slasher movie, it was really interesting. Basically, it's about this theatre that's doing this play based on a psychopath, like a psychopath theatre play. You know, and at this stage, nobody's the killer. But they're basically doing this play based on this serial killer, and one of the props being used is an owl mask. Now, many people would say that's really silly and really dumb. I have to disagree. You know, you can make anything look scary. Take clowns, for example. It's so easy to make a normal-looking clown look scary. I mean, these days, what they do is they try and make a clown deliberately look scary by giving him bad teeth, throwing loads of blood all over him, having glow-in-the-dark red eyes, what the fuck ever. They make a clown deliberately look scary, and that's not the way you do it. It's the same in zombie films like The Evil Dead or Dawn of the Living Dead. You know, these zombie movies, you know, where they use all this prosthetic makeup to make the zombies look real. In my opinion, it's much more scary if you can get real deformed people. You know, that's just my general opinion. And the same goes for the killer in this movie, who's wearing an owl mask. You know, like an owl prop mask. Many people would say that's a really dumb thing to do, but I have to disagree. You know, owls are fascinating birds. I love owls. I think they're very fascinating, you know, the way they turn their necks, etc. and all that. But to have a killer wearing an owl mask, in my opinion, can be really interesting. I mean, owls can look really freaky when you look into their eyes, you know, their fascinated eyes, the beaks, you know, and the feathers and all that. And if you can make a simple thing like that look scary, then you're winning, you know, because basically what happens in this movie is the killer ends up wearing the owl mask and he ends up killing all these people in the theatre one by one, you know. But this is a very easy-paced movie. On for 90 minutes, and it's straightforward. The plot's really simple. The boss of this play wants to get this play under the way. You know, he's a bit of a douche. The lead girl ends up getting her ankle sprayed and she ends up going to the hospital, you know. And the one thing that really caught my imagination about this movie was the music they used in this. I thought the music was really spot on. It was like this, and that music occurs several points in the movie, like in the hospital scene, the scenes where there's different kills. And speaking of the kills, there were some impressive kills in this movie. We had a chainsaw scene. We had a guy get a pickaxe into the fucking jaw. There was a scene where one of the victims was up against the door and a fucking drill goes through the door and it comes out through his body. You know, so there was some pretty impressive kills, some pretty impressive gore. And what I enjoyed so much is that it was just a simple movie to watch. It wasn't complicated, not a complicated plot. It wasn't confusing. I really wish the lead characters had more to them. I don't know if that was because they had the wrong actors or actresses to play them. But the lead girl, the other character, Willie, who ends up killing the killer, you know, he isn't seen much for most of the film, but he ends up being the hero, you know, and I really wish we had more of an opportunity to know more about these characters, you know. I mean, that's one little pinch of salt. I'd say that was a problem with the movie. I wish the characters were more interesting. But I grant it, for a slasher movie, the gore's there. The creepiness is there with the guy with the owl mask, you know, stalking down his victims and killing them off one by one. I love that scene, you know, where the lights go out, you know, causing tension and fear, like as if how they're going to escape this killer when it's all in the dark. The weird scenes like how the killer in the owl costume is like getting all the bodies and dividing them up on the stage, like as if it was all part of the show. You know, the key scene as well, when it drops behind, you know, the floorboards, you know, in the dark, and the woman has to try and find the key, you know, and she's trying not to be found out by the killer, you know. She's like trying to be quiet, she's trying to be silent, and she's like making all this effort, trying not to make too much noise in order to find this key without the killer noticing her. And again, they've got the scenes with the music and the atmosphere, and it was all put together really, really, really nicely, you know. Basically, I mean, it's good versus evil, you know, with the character Willie and the lead girl. I suppose that's what makes the characters likeable. But I thought everyone did a fine job. Like I said, the only problem I had is I wish the characters had more to them. You know what I mean? I really wish the characters were a lot more interesting. But you can tell it's an 80s movie when you watch this movie, you know, how it's all grainy, all the atmosphere is all dark, and when you're watching this movie, I mean, this would be a fun little movie to watch on VHS, in my opinion. If you watch this movie on VHS and you had all the tape all grainy and fuzzy, and you had the 80s music playing, it would be even a lot more fun. You know, I mean, I don't own this movie. I used to have it on DVD, but I can't find it anymore. So one thing I definitely will do is get a Blu-ray version of this movie to add part of my 1987 slasher horror movies as part of my collection, you know, because this is one movie that I would like to own. It's one movie that I would like to revisit. Again, if you're not in the mood for a movie that's on a long pace, you know, that's going on for hours and hours, you don't want to watch a film that's too over the hours, too long or too short, and you want a movie that's just like a fun 90 minutes, then Stage Fright is one that I would particularly recommend, you know. So, again, it has everything for a slasher, like the music, the gore, the atmosphere, and, you know, granted, I won't put this movie above my Bloody Valentine, I won't put it above Friday the 13th, I won't put it above Nightmare on Elm Street, I won't put it above the Halloween movies. You know, I won't put it above any of those movies, you know. But for interest-wise with the killer wearing an owl mask, you know, it's might sound funny to some, but I find it really, really interesting. You know, the fact that they use a guy like in an owl prop mask, you know, to do all the killings, you know. It's just him in the owl prop mask, and he's got like this axe, and he's like doing all these choppings and all these killings, you know. And settings, choice of setting is fine, you know. You've got a hospital scene, you've got the main setting is obviously in the theatre, you know, on the stage, you know, where they're supposed to perform this play about this serial killer, and it all ends up being real, you know. So it all takes place inside of the theatre, basically. And in my opinion, that's really great. There's been loads of horror movies taking place in the theatre, like that film that Robert Englund starred in, The Phantom of the Opera. You know, and there's been loads of memorable slasher films, you know, taking place in the theatre. But, you know, Stage Fright is going to pop up in my mind, you know, when people mention theatre horror movies that came out in the 80s, you know. So it's just one movie I would check out. Would I see it again? Definitely, when I'm in the mood. And I'm really glad this movie was, recommended to me. And again, I do recommend it to any slasher horror movie fans of the 80s. If you like your grainy atmosphere, you love your sensitive music, you like your weird killers, and you like your bloody moments, then for a fun little slow pace slasher movie that came out in the 80s, that's just an easy watch. Then Stage Fright is one of those recommended ones. It's definitely one of those better ones. They did make some awful movies in the 1987, so I'll get to that. But Stage Fright, surprisingly, was a nice watch. That's all I've got to say, everybody. So if any of you got any comments you want to say or anything you want to add to this, then please leave in the comment section below and we can get a conversation going about Stage Fright. It is one movie I would like to talk about with any horror fan. But thanks for recommending that to that subscriber who sent this in. And again, I think it's still on YouTube. Could be wrong. I mean, I don't know if it's been removed, but I'm pretty sure it's still on there. Nice watch for any 80s horror fan. You know, nice little film. Thanks for watching this, everybody, and please leave a comment and subscribe. New Year coming up soon, everyone, so drink carefully. Take care, everyone. Peace out. Have a nice day.